Uh, Welcome to the Sean and Geek, the Sean Geek and Fast Fat podcast.
Yeah, you got it, folks. It's me again with a little attitude for all you out here in white bread land. On
Welcome to the Sean and Geek,
92
the
FM.
Sean
Feels
Geek.
like a nice clean little band so far. No one else is using it. Price is right.
Did you find your crusty, Dave?
This is bigger than friendship. This is what you call cosmic. Yeah. The Buddhists call it, let me see, reincarnation.
Witchy. Hey, wait a minute. Since when is Pismo Beach inside a cave?
I wonder, I just think we should have turned left at Albuquerque. And then maybe a right turn at La Jolla.
Shush! Hush, please.
Welcome to the Sean Geek and Fast Red podcast. This is your host, Sean Geek. Todd is not here tonight because Todd, it's his anniversary today. We've given him the night off. We want him to enjoy his evening. We want him to enjoy his beautiful relationship with his beautiful wife to be. Happy anniversary, you two crazy kids. Tonight we're going to do something, we haven't done an episode of these in a while, but we're going to do a breaking episode where we find something that has broken us. Basically, let's hang on a second here. Just one sec. I have to do something. One moment, please. Right, I'm back. I've wanted to do this episode for a while, and there's kind of a reason I haven't done it because I kind of wanted to talk about one of these albums that was incredibly breaking for me, an album that completely changed um, my ability to songwrite, my ability to um, I gotta pause this, man. Sorry, I'm just getting a bunch of dings here on my phone, and now it's muted. Um, this is one of these artists that quickly rose to prominence in my listening library. Um, uh, an artist that I listen to very regularly. It's part of my ongoing rotating playlist. There's always songs from this writer on everything that I or like it's almost a daily listen for this artist. But specifically though, um, he has been involved in a couple of projects, but most prominently was the band called Volume. And Volume started out, my story with Volume is an interesting one, which has been chronicled on the podcast for multiple episodes. And I, we'll go back to the beginning. We'll recap some of my introduction to this band. But Volume is a band from Winnipeg. Features um, Lee Filbert on vocals, and he's also played piano and or bass at various junctions of the band. There's other prominent members in the band as well. There is Chris Emery on drums, who is famous for the OMG and um, OMG chocolates. They're like a little snacky thing. And he's the genius kind of behind that whole thing, but he was the drummer of Volume. and I kind of think like the business manager of the band as well. Um, Bob Phillip was also in the band, and he was on keyboards, and he was responsible for a lot of the sounds on their first release, The Amazing Spider Band, which you may have heard of. I've seen this CD pop up on multiple nerd discussion threads, talking about how great The Amazing Spider Band was, which was an album of basically recreations of the 1960s Spider-Man cartoon that were redone with a bit of a rock vibe, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. That album is fantastic, and probably at some point I would like to cover this album at some point, but this was my introductions to the band. The other member of the band was Alfie Catalico. Oh, I'm gonna say it wrong. Alfie Catalico. He was also in the Chocolate Bunnies from Hell. He was also in a number of other bands. He's probably got more bands than anybody I know in Winnipeg. Great guitar player. He also played with Janine Gobet, which was a favorite of mine, another Winnipeg artist. But I discovered Volume through this Amazing Spider-Man thing, which they had decided to record an album's worth of Spider-Man songs from the 60s Spider-Man cartoon. They went down and they wanted to do it right. They didn't want it to just be a plagiarized thing, which they probably could have just done and probably gotten away with it. But that's not what they were about, and that's not what they wanted to do. I'm just gonna find there's a note here on um sorry, I was just trying to remember the composer. A lot of the music from the Spider-Man cartoon was composed by Ray Ellis. So they actually flew down to I'm not sure where it was, California, I'm guessing. And they flew down and get his permission to actually record this album. So my guitar player in my first band, he and I big fans of the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, and in fact we used to do a fair version of a bunch of the Spider-Man songs ourselves in our band. And then when we heard that this band was going to be playing um, Spider-Man songs, I'm like, all right, sounds kind of odd. Um, hey Josh, how you doing, man? Um, so anyway, so we're like, who the hell are these posers? They're playing Spider-Man music. They're not going to play it as well as we, because we're true Spider-Man fans and we've seen all the episodes and all this sort of thing. So we went to go see this band out, and we were floored, particularly by Alfie Catalico's guitar playing. Wow, it was phenomenal, just phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. You know what? And just to kind of prove this point here, I'm just gonna play you a teaser of what this sounded like. Let's see. Let's go with Kingpinned. We're gonna just play a second of this song so you can kind of get a feeling for how heavy this stuff was. it kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how heavy they were. So when we saw this band play and they were playing a song like this, or they're playing Dementia 5 or any of these Spider-Man songs, we're like, okay, you know what? My band playing playing um Spider-Man songs, we paled in comparison. The interesting thing about them is that when they played, they also inserted some original songs they had written, which were phenomenal. Um, really, really good stuff. So I found out about them, long story short, through my chiropractor. There was this lady who used to work at the chiropractor. Her name was Janine Gobet, and fantastic songwriter. Uh, and I didn't, I was like, oh my God, you play music. Like, I was really fascinated. So I was talking to Janine and trying to, find out a little bit more about, like what she was listening to and what kind of music she was doing. And she says, well, I have a boyfriend. His name is Alfie. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting name. Um, anyway, so find out later that he's in a band called Volume, and then I get a copy of the CD, not associating not associating this band with the Amazing Spider Band. So she hands me a copy of this. I don't know if you can see it here. She gives me a copy of this. She goes, "Oh yeah, this is my boyfriend's band." Blah blah blah. So I'm listening to this CD. And I'm like, "Oh, what the hell? This is really good." And there was a familiarity with one of the songs on there, and I don't remember which one it was now at the time. And I'm like, I know this song. Like, I know this. Like, there's something familiar about this band and the voice, the person singing. I'm like, this vocal is very, very different, very, very interesting. Later, put two and two together. I think talking to Janine, I'm like, hey, wait a second. Is this the same band? And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They did this Spider-Man thing, but they're they kind of moved a little bit past that and they're kind of doing their own thing. And I'm like, how is this the same band? Because they went from this chunka 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 covers of Spider-Man to what we hear. Lo and behold, later I learned, I'm a big fan, and I go see Volume play again. And this time, the singer's not up there. I'm like, where's the singer? It's some blonde guy up here, and the guy starts singing, and I'm like, he doesn't sound at all the same. He doesn't look the same. I know it's not the same guy. And lo and behold, they took the singer from uh, one of my favorite albums of all time, this band called Leader House. The singer from that band was now singing for them, Matthew Budalowski. I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, there's a whole complicated history with all that, which I don't know if I want to go into here. I don't have all the details, and I'd hate to misquote, misinterpret, or misrepresent any of the stuff that went on during that time. I know some of the inside stuff. I don't really want to share any of that stuff. Suffice to say that Lee was no longer in the band. The singer, the guy, you know, the voice behind Volume wasn't in the band anymore, and they had someone else. Lo and behold, long, long, long time later, I'm actually just looking this up now. Uh, on our episode 270 of our show, we had an interview. I got an interview with the singer of Volume, Lee Filbert, also known as Philbatross. And I find out that he was like the principal songwriter for all those original songs. He was kind of like the creative voice behind Volume and its CD, The World, that I had in my possession. He was the guy behind all this. So I had him on the show, and I'm like, what is this, man? Like, I really wanted to know more. So I I somehow found him. I don't know how I found him. I reached out in multiple places, and finally he got back to me. And it's like, oh yeah, dude. I said, would you be interested in coming on the show and talking about this album? Like, it's just really a favorite of mine, and I kind of wanted to talk about it, and we did, and it was great. And we had it was possibly one of the most complicated episodes the show had ever put out, and it was entirely based upon inability to get a proper Wi-Fi connection on his end and it was a struggle. But what I learned later was, I talked to Lee before a whole bunch of tragic problems had happened like kind of right after this episode, and we're like, hey, we kind of cut off at a certain point in history, and we weren't able to kind of finish the interview. So we said, well, let's, like basically the problems we were having recording. I said, you know what? Here's a good point to cut it off. We'll cut it off here. We'll have you back on again. We'll talk about it again. And then at that point, I didn't talk to Lee for quite some time because there was a bunch of stuff going on in his life. And so later, instead, we got on Alfie. Alf showed up on the show on our episode 353, and we continued the story of Volume, the band, from there. So if you want to go get some history, I tell some of the stories. You can find out who Alf was and who Lee was and what they did, and the other powers that be in the band, how everything kind of happened with that band and how it kind of flowed, kind of give you a bit of a timeline history. But for now, I would actually like to play something because I was lucky enough. This CD only had 4 tracks on it. I knew there was more. This was meant to be a teaser for the upcoming release, which is going to be a full-length release, which never ever happened. So instead, we got nothing. But I managed to get my hands on the copies of all the original masters of the full length of the album. And what I would like to do is I want to play some of the stuff that kind of never saw the light of day. And it is available in rare places online. You might be able to find it like on SoundCloud, or you might be able to find it on Reverb Nation. There's a couple of other places I found the music on. But I managed to get these tracks directly from Lee. Lee and I had a meeting sometime later, and we get to talk about, had a nice chat, and kind of talk about things. So I want to play some of the other tracks on here. So this song here is called Simplicity. It just features the amazing full lush sounds of Volume, and this really gives you an image of live what they sound like, because this is just, it's orchestral, and just take a listen. Here it is. The song's called Simplicity, and this would have been released on their full-length album. Never made it on the EP teaser, but you're going to hear it here right now.
He was the voice of outrage, I think, that speaks inside of all of us about having to hold back, having to be socially acceptable.
Pressed under ghost, not imprisoned by a body of flesh, but free in a body of light. I knew all things, there were no questions, only answers, no weaknesses, only strength. I was a spiritual being.
That's entertainment.
What do you think of that? Hmm? What did you think of that? That was phenomenal stuff. Um, grand, brilliant, evocative, meaningful. Um, Volume was just one of those incredible bands, and to see them live, it was something else. There was this power to it. It was just it hit you in the face, knocked you down, and then when you got up, when they give you a moment to come up for a breath, the feelings behind these songs was fantastic. It would just lull you and get at you. Let's play another song here. I mean, there's I really just really just want to I really just want to play the whole album, but I obviously I can't do that. So let's play another song. Now one of these songs was intended, but I don't think quite made it on the album. Let's see which one we want to go with. Let's go with we're gonna go with a song called Tragedy, and kind of give you a bit of the other side of what Volume sounded like. monumental stuff. Monumental stuff. As you can hear, there's a landscape to everything they do. There's this just plastic, just large sound, and a lot of that has to do with a songwriter in Lee who is able to take a simple story and tell his stories very simply while also having this broad brushstrokes of telling a bigger story about the world, about the people around him, and about what was going on at that time. As I get to know Lee a little bit more, and I kind of get a bit of the backstory of his own story. These songs are so poignant, and they're so raw, and they're so painful. They're sometimes I'll listen to stuff and just enjoy it for what it is, but sometimes it's just too painful to listen to, for the things that he's had to go through in life. Truly a strong person, and always be a fan. But Alfie's sound, his guitar, there's always this. The only artist I can seem to like, his style is very much his own. The only guitar sound I can compare him to is Prince. When Prince weaves landscapes on guitar, when he's specifically doing guitar work, it's not all about crunching a bunch of notes, which he can do, but it's all about just making this orchestral sound. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal work. Let's play another song here. Now, oh geez, what could I do here? Let's see. You know what? Let's do this one. This one's a rocker. This is called Wise. Good message. Good message. Good wrong. But here you go.
I woke up, saw the light pouring in through the dusty window. Wanted to mean something it didn't yesterday. Everything has its place in the slow quiet of the morning. Layers of doubt are all consumed and fall away. And I'm a fool for a fiery sunrise. Still flat on my back, but feeling so wise. I can't fail if I don't try. The past is gone, left and cast aside. Walking fast, need to feel my feet firm on the broken pavement. Haunted by all the things I fear I'd never do. I'm a fool for the fire in your eyes. Still so much to lose, but now I cannot lie. I can't fail if I don't try. The past is gone, left and cast aside.
That was Wise by Volume from their, this one actually made it onto their EP. It was the lead track, kind of to get you going. The second track on the EP was Drive You Home, which my wife and I ended up picking as our wedding song, which was one of the first songs my wife and I ever agreed to because our musical tastes don't quite jive. So let's play that one right now. Why not? Why the fuck not? Here we go. This is called Drive You Home. What the song is about is not how I interpreted it, which was very interesting when I got the story behind the song. But say what you will, here it is, Drive You Home. Second track, and probably was meant to be the single.
Put myself in a situation where nothing I was saying was ever getting through to you. Get caught up, wrapped up in the thought that there might be a chance that there's something between me and you. And all our friends can think what they want. Try to pretend they think they know who we are. Live a little bit of life and I guess in your own. Yes, I don't mind, 'cause I'm with you, girl. I'll drive you home. 'Cause it feels right, and you look incredible. Your smile carries me home, and I wonder, is it possible that there are things between you and me? Sit back, it's a fantastic day. We'll cruise it together, whatever the weather. 'Cause you know I've got all the time in the world. There isn't anything I'd rather be doing. So kick off your shoes, put your feet on the dash. You're hanging with me, it's hard to believe, but I gotta live the moment. Go with the flow, because you know won't go away. I'll drive you home, 'cause it feels right, and you look incredible. Your smile carries me home, and I wonder, is it possible that there are things between you and me? I'll wrap my arms around you. Just give me a sign. It's the middle of the night, they're turning out the lights, stand close to your side, but you don't know why. It feels funny in the room, what you think you're gonna do? You're living uptight, you got to give it up. If your friends are leaving, you know I can drive you home. There's no one on this evening, you can turn off your cell phone. You gotta live the moment. Go with the flow, because you know won't go away. I'll drive you home, 'cause it feels right, and you look incredible. Your smile carries me home, and I wonder, is it possible that there are things between you and me? I'll drive you home, 'cause it feels right, and you look incredible. Your smile carries me home, and I wonder, is it possible that there are things between you and me?
That was Drive You Home. And that ended up being me and my wife's wedding song, a little untraditional, but hey, me and my wife, very untraditional people. And geez, what am I going to do? Here's something that here's a interesting story that happened sometime after. Um, there was, as I said, Matthew Budalowski had replaced Lee Filbert as the vocalist, and he also replaced him as the keyboardist. And uh, Matt would kind of take over the frontman position in the band, and they were very excited to do this. And his joining was at a kind of a not great time in band's history. But they went, and I guess they were going to go in the studio, and I never knew what was going to go on. But sometime later, um, I guess they recorded a whole album, which I found on Matthew Budalowski's YouTube page, and there was a whole album of Volume, I guess, that he contributed to the band, which was something something quite a bit different. I don't know what else, like I don't know how to I don't know how to describe it, I guess. But anyway, um, so let's move on to another track on the album. I thought maybe to give you some context to the guitar player. He was in a band called the Chocolate Bunnies from Hell. And he was also in a band called Dirt Beat. So I'm gonna play a song from Dirt Beat to kind of give you. I'll just play a little bit of it just to kind of give you a flavor of one of the places he came from. Now this is a live performance. The song is called Webhead, and it's something else. I love this stuff. Dirt Peak, awesome. Another band he was in was called the Chocolate Bunnies from Hell. Here, check this out. It's coming. Hang on. Come on, guys.
Categories were amusing, but the dictionaries were confusing. I met you, I knew that it was true, the wrong approach I was using. Spread it all around me, when I was lost you found me. I get it through the weekend to you now, baby, don't try and confound me when I tell you, you run with me. I'll never need another. I love the way you do the thing you wanna do. The whole of road so inviting. Spread it all around me. When I was lost, you found me. Maybe get it straight, you know I can't.
Okay, that was a lot of fun. We actually really enjoyed that. Chocolate Bunnies from Hell were this incredible live band from Winnipeg that just, I don't know, man. Odd, quirky, bizarre. I used to watch them play at the zoo up the street from a girl I was dating at the time. And I used to go there all the time and watch the bunnies play. It was surreal. Now, I mentioned earlier, and I was trying to find it and I had trouble finding it, but another project that Alfie, the guitar player, guitar, it's not like from New Brunswick here, the guitar player from Volume, another project he worked on was with Janine Gobet. My She worked at the chiropractor's office that I used to go to, and I don't know, man. I really, really like this, and I wish I had the ability to hear the whole album. But anyway, here's the single that I picked up. So here you go. This is called Regrets, Jeanine Gobet with none other than Alfie Catalico on guitar.
Found you in my sandbox underneath the sailboat, and you never lost your smile, even when you lost a friend. You never thought to cry when you might have seen the end. Oh, regrets. Oh, regrets. Spend
I could listen to this all day. This lady's voice is ridiculously it's just so fucking smooth. Here is another band. Again, we're talking about Volume, we're talking about the guitar player from Volume and the many fucking bands this guy has. I was lucky enough to have him on the show. Here's another his band called Hospital. The song is called Fear is on his way. Here we go.
so this is hope for the youth today. Light is denied on display. Suffering is all a big shame. Someone was here, they took his breath away. Gain becomes lost, here to stay.
I forgot what the episode's supposed to be about. This is supposed to be a breaking episode, and this is supposed to be about Volume. And we're playing a bunch of Alfie stuff. Alfie's the greatest dude ever. Fucking cool as fuck. There's my expletive count for the night. So let's play another song from Volume, the greatest songwriter in the world, in my humble opinion. Lee Filbert, who was the voice behind Volume, who was the principal songwriter behind Volume, and he was the one that came up with this fucking great album. So shit, what are we gonna play here? Oh, the world. Let's go with this song. The song's called "The World." This is where we're gonna end it. I gotta go do some shit upstairs. But thanks for joining us. This is another episode of Sean Geek and Fast Fright called Breaking Volume. Here we go. Final song. Cheers. See you guys on the other side.
I see the world in your eyes, felt the cold test of your lies. Been there, I've done that, I gave up my promise, turned out the light. Let down and feeling alone, I don't really want to go home. I'm playing the part on the playground, it's hard once all you know is swept away in the end. It's all I walk with my eyes on the sky, feeling you passing me by. Hope for a glance, give it just one more chance. I'm open wide. Let down and feeling alone, I don't really want to come home. I'm playing the part on the playground, it's hard once all you know is swept away in the end. It's all
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. And bye. Have a good day.